Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul. I'm your host, Janie Charlo. Matters of the Heart and Soul is a podcast to raise awareness and awaken humanity to all that is within. We want to be a beacon of light on your life journey.
Welcome back to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. Today we just did a marvelous podcast on creating your path, and we talked about things like the hero's journey and not so much being caught up in the destination as it is the journey and who you become in the process. You know, the journey could be anything dealing with the mind, body, and soul, and becoming the best version of yourself. So it's multifaceted. Hope you get something out of this. Don't forget to share it and to like and subscribe. See you on the other side.
Hey guys, welcome back to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. This is Janie Charlo.
And Russell Bruce.
And welcome back, guys. We appreciate you as always. Thank you for coming along on this journey with us, growing with us, and tapping into the heart and soul. On this podcast, we are talking about creating your path, finding your way. So if you've always felt different from maybe everyone else around you, or if your journey has been different, maybe difficult too, then this podcast may be for you. We want to talk about creating your path and what that looks like along the way. So sometimes we called ourselves wanderers or journeymen, because that's what it's about. You just kind of figure it out as you go, but there's something internal that is guiding you. And people around you don't understand that because they're going according to societal norms. They're going according to what their parents laid out for them to do. But you have a different compass. You're listening to that internal compass. So let's talk about that today. So Russell, how do we create our own path? Like, where does it even start?
Well, I like to think of what they call the hero's journey, which is tied to an ancient story, like the ancient Egyptian story of Horus. And Horus was the son of Isis and Osiris. Those were the Greek names. The Kemetic names, well, Kem itself is the name of the land. Egypt is a Greek term. So the Kemetic names for Isis, Osiris, and Horus were Asar, Aset, and Hathor. So Hathor or Horus is where the word hero comes from. So that's the hero's journey. So you look at movies take this particular story, and the way that story plays out, the hero always comes back at the end and becomes victorious. So good always conquers evil, love conquers fear. And one of my favorite movies, having children over the years, I fell in love with the movie The Lion King, because The Lion King is also the same example of mother, father, child, and Simba coming back as the hero or Hathor. Mm-hmm. So we all go through this in life. Like, we go through our own dark night of the soul. We have to conquer our shadow self, meaning all of our fears, all of our screw ups, all of our failed relationships, our losses. If we're really true to ourselves and we're wanting to better ourselves, what we try to do is to learn from these experiences to become better, to ultimately becoming your own hero.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And I would say that your path starts with your desire. So some of us will have a desire based on our experience or what we did not experience. And what I mean by that is, for example, If you never traveled as a child, you never went outside of your same hometown, guess what? You, over those years, you have built a desire to travel. So you're going to want to travel. All right. So sometimes creating our path is about what we've experienced or did not experience growing up. But it's also important to understand this within yourself. So an understanding that those desires are not coming from a place of pain or unhealed wounds. And what I mean by that is, if you were perhaps molested as a young child, and now you have this hard exterior demeanor, that exterior lack of being vulnerable comes from pain and it's unhealed. So you have to know where your desires to create your path is coming from. And I'll tell you that it's really, you're never wrong on the path, but there is two ways to go. You could be on the path or you could be heading in the opposite direction of your path. And any unhealed wounds is surely either going to stifle your journey, or it's going to totally derail you. Okay, so let's talk about the destination versus the journey.
All right. So a lot of you are probably familiar with the saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey and who you become in the process. So, like a lot of people, like let's say the majority of people are trying to figure out, how do I get into heaven, versus going to hell.
And those are states of consciousness.
States of consciousness, not so much a destination, but even if people look at it as a destination, it's like you can't live your whole life, say, trying to get to that destination, say trying to become a millionaire. So what if you became cutthroat and you stepped on a lot of backs and necks to get there, and then you get there, all right, and now you're at the top of the mountain and you look down and you realize you're there by yourself, and it's no fun because now you're lonely and no one's feeling
joy,
you. Yeah,
right?
You don't have joy because who did you become in the process of getting there?
Exactly.
Like seeking heaven, who are you becoming in the process if you're trapped into, say, religious dogma and you spew fear instead of love to people, and and then in the end only to find out that, hey, I alienated my friends, I made my family members feel that they weren't good enough, things of that nature. So we should pay close attention to who we're becoming in the journey of what we're trying to obtain. And one last point, because one of my mentors told me, don't chase money, chase excellence.
Right. So
excellence is something that you could become in the journey, right? Because if you chase excellence, you can't get out of the path of money. If you become good at whatever it is that you endeavor, like if you want to become, say, a scientist, a carpenter, or what have you, if you're in the top 10% of that particular field, the market seeks you out, money seeks you out.
Yep. So definitely who you become in the process, and I think is what you learn along the way, because that's really how we become better, is what we learn. And you never lose. You either win or you learn.
Right. And if, like they say, you learn and you teach.
You learn.
And you could also bring along people with you along your journey that have similar paths.
Exactly. All right. The other point I want to talk about is the infinite possibilities on the journey. And this is really important, and I want everyone to really expand their minds, because I think this is where a lot of people get stuck in the journey and feel like they are stuck in something that they don't want to be in. There are infinite possibilities to do what you truly have a heart's desire to do, okay? There is no lack or limitations. Lack and limitations is only in the mind. You can course correct at any time, so know that, all right? You might have thought that the only way to get to college was, to work hard, have a couple jobs, have parents who had, money that they could just drop 70 grand a year, and that's the only way you can go. No, there's infinite possibilities for you to get to college and to get an education. You might have to do grants. You might have to do loans. You might have to, work a part-time job. You might have to do some other things, but there's infinite possibilities to do the things that your heart really wants to do.
In thinking about abundance and infinite possibilities, there's a saying: if you don't understand what abundance looks like or infinite possibilities, go out in your backyard and count the blades of grass.
Exactly.
Count the individual blades of grass. Go on a beach and count the individual sand granules.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if you look into the universe, the number of stars out there, like the earth is just like a grain of sand on a beach in the big scope of things. So it's like abundance is there. The earth is very abundant. Like many of us, haven't even mastered everything in their state. Like there's forests, there's waterfalls, there's lakes, and rivers that most people haven't even seen, but yet they go through life as if, they feel this lack and they really haven't seen everything. You have to stretch the imagination.
Yeah, and just don't look out at no one else's journey. Your journey is your journey. All right, so what about people that don't have a clue on how to get where they want to go? How does that play into our thoughts and in envisioning it?
I think most people just need to quiet the mind, shut off the television, the radio, everything, and just spend some quiet time with themselves, or even just go outside in nature, sit outside and listen to the birds and hear and feel the wind and the sunlight, beaming off of your skin. Like just things that are natural, that are free flowing and occur with nature. And become one with nature, just sit there and think, and things will come to you. And the thing is, we have to learn how to trust our own intuition. The Most High speaks to each and every one of us, and the Most High is a whisperer. It's not going to be a scream, not unless you just keep overlooking or not listening to the messages that are given to you. Because a lot of times people are given ideas. Like I've been given so many ideas over the years. And one thing I learned from the past is if I didn't act upon them, then somebody else ended up creating the same thing I thought about months later or a year later, because I've never acted upon them. And one of the things we talk about are universal laws. Like the law of attraction is a universal law. There's nothing new, right? And the last part of the law of attraction is action. So you can attract things to you. You could attract the perfect job, business opportunity, the perfect romantic partner. You could attract all these things, but if you never act, if you never take action upon those things, it's not going to happen.
Yep. So just remember, guys, if you can think it, you can achieve it, because thoughts become things. All things on this material, physical plane starts in the spiritual plane. So if you can think it, you can achieve it. And also if you can envision it, like Russell said, you can create it. So just connect yourself with yourself. And a lot of times going out in nature is the best way to do that. And just start to envision. Close your eyes. Envision the things you want. Envision the life you want. Envision actually 5-10 years down the road. If you're young, if you're in your 20s, or if you're college age, now is what kind of family you want, what kind of life you want to lead, what type of job you want to have. All of those things, you envision it, you can create it. So sometimes the journey does get lonely, okay? And there's so many reasons, right? First of all, morals and ethics play a big role. It's kind of like if everybody's at the bottom and everybody's trying to reach something, right? Whether it's something physical, whether it's something spiritual, whether it's something emotional, you have a lot of people starting off on the path, but people tend to fall off. So why is the journey lonely, Russell?
Right. So it's like most things. Like if you ever looked at a marathon, you have all these people like that are at the start,
ready to go. Yeah.
It's like, and same with a pyramid at the bottom. Everybody's at the bottom, right? But as those hours go by in a marathon, it starts to dwindle out, and then you have that one or two at the finish line, just like a pyramid. If you look, as you go higher up on the top, it thins out. And like you mentioned earlier, when you're on this journey to success and you have this laser like focus on your goal,
everyone won't understand your focus.
They're not going to understand. Everybody's not going to be happy for you, and not everybody wants to go there. Exactly. So it's like, you're probably not going to hang out as much anymore. You're probably going to change some of the places that you go to do certain things, right? You're going to probably change your diet. You're going to probably start working out more. You're going to probably spend more quiet time. So at that point, the path does kind of get lonely, right? And you could say lonely. So once again, there's a difference between being lonely and solitude, right?
And the truth is, you're never alone. I mean, that is the truth.
You're never alone.
There's always someone. The universe is always going to bring you someone. You have ancestors backing you. You have spirit guides backing you. You are never alone on this journey. So remember that. And I just want to mention that as you go up higher, the energy and the vibration is lighter. Okay, so dense energy is always at the bottom. So dense is distractions. Dense is pain, unhealed wounds. Dense is, being stuck in past relationships and past situations that you haven't let go of. But as you let go of all that, your energy rise, your vibration rise, your aura is different, and you will attract exactly who you are. So again, loneliness is an illusion. You're never alone on the journey. You just got to know that within you holds the power to keep going. And that's our saying, keep going, keep going. You'll gain momentum along the way. So the other point we want to talk about is enjoy the journey. You are in a constant balance of cause and effect with the universe. So what you give to the universe is what you're going to get in return. Enjoy it. See the good in your journey. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. There's going to be some painful times, but trust me, you were put on this journey because you have already what it takes to win. You chose some of these barriers and obstacles, actually, as you journey. You have anything you want to add with that one? Enjoying the journey?
No, I like exactly what you said. And it's like that person is trying to get to the top of Mount Everest. It's like you're gonna stop at the village at the bottom to maybe have breakfast or tea or coffee. You're going to meet some great people along the way who can tell you some of the secrets of the mountain to help you get to the top.
Yeah. And you may cross paths with somebody who's about to go into what you just came out of, and you'll be able to give that person some tidbits like, I just came through that and here's what you need to do. So enjoy the journey. It really is about learning and evolving. Enjoy the journey.
Learning and teaching.
Exactly. The other point, guys, your journey is individualized. Your journey is your journey. No one else can walk it.
It's just like each and every one of us has a very unique thumbprint. Even though there's almost 8 billion of us here, nobody has the exact same thumbprint.
Nope.
And nobody was created to do the exact same thing. We may have similar jobs, similar interests, and that's why it's so important. It's like, be yourself. Everybody else is taken.
Exactly. And I think it's important to keep in mind that when it's all said and done, the questions really is going to be, what did you do with the resources you were given while you were on your journey? How did you help that person that came to you that needed help? Or what did you do with the people that came to you to help you? And guess who's going to be answering it? You will.
At the end of the day, you're the only one here.
You're going to judge yourself. It's going to be self-judgment. No one else will. You will. Because it's your journey. So what is the ultimate goal of the journey?
The ultimate goal of the journey, and I can speak for myself on this one, is to become the best version of myself possible. And in doing so, I would love to encourage and assist others to do the same. And I think in doing so, we could say that we help to make the world a better place.
Absolutely. I agree with that. We're all here to become the best and highest version of ourselves on all levels, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but that's what we're here to do. And I think when you know what you're here to do, you take it in stride a little bit.
I think once you have an idea of what your purpose is, and I like to say purpose and impact, because your purpose should impact others in a positive way. And once you figure that out, that's where true joy comes from.
And it is definitely my belief that we may all have a little individual mission, but as a whole body of humanity, we are all here to make the human experience better, period.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And the last thing I just want to point out is that you will always have what you need on your journey. The student will appear when the teacher will appear when the student is ready. That's it.
Because what happened is, what you're looking for is looking for you. So when you start thinking about what it is you really want to do and you're really focused on it, like say for example, if we're thinking about a beach trip and you're at a restaurant, you could overhear some people, you can hear all these people in there, there's hundreds of people in there talking, and all of a sudden somebody mentions the same beach or the same town that you're wanting to go to. Everything else fades to the background and you could tune into that, right? The same thing happens whenever you're focused on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or become. All of a sudden, it comes out of the woodwork. It's like the saying, I think most of you may have heard this one, is like if I'm looking at purchasing this brand new white Range Rover, all of a sudden, every corner I go to, I'm starting to see this same vehicle. And it's not that all of a sudden they just start popping up. They were there, but it wasn't that important before because I didn't bring it to the forefront of my mind.
And thoughts create things.
Yeah, exactly. And what happens is when you become focused on something, then all of a sudden your path becomes clearer. It's like a GPS, right?
It is.
And you could be driving in the fog or through a rainstorm and you could only see so far ahead in your vision, but you know that GPS says to go this way, so you go that way, and then all of a sudden the right people will come, the right opportunities will come, and the next thing you know, you're there. You've met your goal, and it's all about the journey. You're gonna get there. It's just a matter of when. Don't worry about how. Just know why.
Exactly. And truthfully, once you get there, then you're starting a new journey. And that's the truth. So we hope you guys enjoyed this podcast about creating your path. Challenges will come on your journey in this thing we call life. Just know that it's all here to grow you, to evolve you, to become the best and highest version of yourself. So don't be in a rush. Enjoy the journey. Don't worry about the destination. Have your compass and have your direction. Know which direction you're going in the path, but don't worry about getting there too fast, Put your seatbelt on. Any roadblocks you come, ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this? Learn the lesson and keep going. That's it.
That's it. I love that.
All right, guys, we appreciate you as always. Please like, subscribe, and share to the podcast. And we'll catch you at the next episode.
Peace.
Take care.